You know, living with you, it hasn't been easy. People see me, but they think of you. Now with all this going on, this is gonna be worse than ever.
It don't have to be.
No, sure it does.
Why? You got a lot going on, kid.
Oh, what, my last name? That's the reason I got a decent job. That's the reason why people deal with me in the first place. Now I start to get a little ahead. I start to get a little something for myself, and this happens. Now I'm asking you as a favor not to go through with this, okay? This is only gonna end up bad for you, and it's gonna end up bad for me.
You think I'm hurting you?
Yeah, in a way you are.
That's the last thing I ever wanted to do.
I know that's not what you want to do, but that's just the way that it is. Don't you care what people think? Doesn't it bother you that people are making you out to be a joke and that I'm gonna be included in that? Do you think that's right? Do you?
You ain't gonna believe this, but you used to fit right here. I'd hold you up and say to your mother, this kid's gonna be the best kid in the world. This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew. And you grew up good and wonderful. It was great just watching you every day. It was like a privilege. Then the time come for you to be your own man and take on the world, and you did. But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. I'm always gonna love you no matter what. No matter what happens. You're my son, you're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life. Don't forget to visit your mother.
Welcome back. If we haven't met yet, my name is Raymond Hudson, and we are in week 2 of our series, Do It for a Day. I don't know about you, but I love the inspirational video that we just watched. I don't know if you've ever watched the movie Rocky, but I'm always inspired when I watch it. And when I think about that quote where he's talking about, man, there are times in our lives when life will knock us down. We have times in our lives where things won't be easy, but he challenges his son to don't make an excuse and keep on fighting. Have you ever had a moment in your life where things have come against you, right? Or things have gotten difficult or hard, and it's easy to make excuses. And I would encourage you today to don't give up and keep on fighting. There are times in our lives where we actually need to pick fights with the things that are fighting us. We need to pick fight with the things that are trying to beat us down. And a lot of times those things that we need to pick a fight with are the very habits in our lives that are destroying us. In this last week, we talked about domino habits and how the things that we choose to do, if we will take these small steps to getting to where we're trying to get to, it can have exponential impact on our lives. But we'll never change the bad habits in our lives if we don't make the decision to pick a fight. And when we choose to pick a fight, it's realizing that the things that we're not picking fights with are actually going to be the things that are going to hinder us from accomplishing the goals that we have. And so don't allow your bad habits or my bad habits to keep on beating us down. But today I want to encourage you to pick a fight. And when you pick a fight, it's making a decision that you're going to keep on fighting round after round, that you won't give up on God, right? Because I believe that God is the one that helps us when we need to pick these fights, because he'll never give up on you. So today, no matter how you walked in here, no matter what bad habits you've allowed to beat you down, or no matter what life has thrown your way, I'd encourage you today, don't give up. Pick a fight. Keep on fighting, no matter how hard, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how stressful it is. I want to encourage you to keep on fighting. Pick a fight with that bad habit. Pick a fight in that relationship, right? Keep on fighting. Don't allow yourself to give up. Here's my main question for you today, which is this: what in your life has been fighting and beating you? What in your life, as we've been talking about habits, and if you missed this last week, I want to encourage you to go back, because we're talking about what are the habits in our lives that we need to make this year, and what are the ones that we need to break. And it's not about doing these big things. It's about doing the small things on a daily basis. And so today we're talking about, man, in order to do that, you've got to pick a fight with those things that are fighting you. You got to pick a fight with those things that are trying to destroy or impede your progress. And so what in your life is fighting you and beating you? I love the Bible, and I believe that the Bible is applicable for our daily lives. And what I want to do today is I just want to look at a story of a man who had the ability to either pick a fight with something that was bad or allow the thing that was bad to destroy them. And so you find it in 1 Samuel, and you'll see that Saul is the king at this time, and his son's name is Jonathan. And the Israelites are at war at this moment. And as they're at war, it comes to this place to where the Israelites are afraid. And can we be honest? There's times where we have things in our lives that we're afraid of, and we allow them to bind or to beat us down or to steal our hope and our excitement for life. And so it's this experience that the Israelites are having to where they're in war with the Philistines, and the Philistines is this massive army, and everyone in the Israelite army is afraid, and they feel like there's no one on their side. But yet you find Jonathan, who's the son of the king Saul, who's willing to pick a fight with something bigger, scarier, more powerful than he was, because he had something on his side. And I wonder if today, when you choose to pick a fight with that bad habit, or you choose to pick a fight with the thing that's been beating on you, that what if today could be the day that the Lord fights on your behalf? What if today is a day where the God is just waiting for you to say, I'm going to pick a fight with that addiction. I'm going to pick a fight with that immoral thinking. I'm going to pick a fight with the way I speak. I'm going to pick a fight with the way I eat. Like whatever you're needing to pick a fight with, what if today is the day that the Lord said, I'm going to fight on your behalf? And so you see that in this passage. And so 1 Samuel chapter 14, 1 through 13. And if you don't have a Bible, you'll see it on the screen. But it starts this way. It says, one day Jonathan said to his armor bearer, and I pause there and say, man, what if today is the day, right? I love this. One day Jonathan picks a fight with something bigger than him. One day he gets the fortitude and the power and the strength and the confidence to say, no, not another day. And that's what I would encourage you. That's what this series is all about, that you're going to do it for a day. What if today is that day that you pick a fight and the Lord works on your behalf? I'm sorry, let's jump back in, right? So it says, one day Jonathan said to his armor bearer, come on, let's go over where the Philistines have their outposts. But Jonathan did not tell his father what he was doing. It says this, meanwhile, Saul and his 600 men were camped in the outskirts of Gibeah around the pomegranate tree in Migron. Verse 3, among Saul's men was Ahijah the priest, who was wearing the ephod and the priestly vest. Ahijah was the son of Ichabod's brother, Ahitub, right? So good. Son of Phinehas, son of Eli, the priest of the Lord who served in Shiloh. Goes on. Not one realized that Jonathan had left the Israelite camp. Verse 2, to reach the Philistine outpost, Jonathan had to go down between two rocky cliffs that were called Bozez and Seneh. The cliff on the north was the front of Michmash, and the one on the south was the front of Gibeah. Let's go across the outposts to those pagans, Jonathan said to his armor bearer. Perhaps the Lord will help us, for nothing can hinder the Lord. He can win a battle, whether he has many warriors or only a few. I would just pause there and say, man, Jonathan not only chose to pick a fight with something bigger and stronger than he was, but he actually had to fight to get there. He had to work to get there, even though it was difficult terrain and getting through the valley of where he was heading. He fought and went with just himself and his armor bearer, and he was willing to pick a fight and to keep on pushing. And I'd encourage you today to keep on pushing, but he says something that's so profound. He says, perhaps the Lord will help us, for nothing can hinder the Lord. I tell you today that no matter what you're walking through, no matter what you're going through right now, whatever you're needing to pick a fight with, nothing can hinder the Lord. Nothing is more powerful than the Lord. If you're new to faith, I challenge you, man, that sin that you're dealing with, that anxiety, that stress, that job that you're trying to get to, the anxiety, whatever it is that you're walking through, nothing can hinder the Lord. The Lord is powerful. And Jonathan knew that. Verse 7 says this, do what you think is best, the armor bearer replied. And I love this, and we can't go deep into this, but it's good when you're picking the fight to have the right people with you. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. Put it in the comments if you do. Having someone with you that's like your ride or die, that's saying, man, I trust you. I'm going to have your back. Like he had this. And when you're picking a fight with bad habits, you need people around you to support you. He goes on. He says, I'm with you completely, whatever you decide. Verse 8. All right then, Jonathan told him, we will cross over and let them see us. If they say to us, stay where you are, or we will kill you, then we will stop and not go up to them. But if they say, come on up and fight, then we will go up. That will be the Lord's sign that he will help us defeat them. Verse 11 says this, when the Philistines saw them coming, they shouted, look, the Hebrews are crawling out of their holes. Then the man from the outpost shouted to Jonathan, come on up here and we will teach you a lesson. Come on, climb right behind me, Jonathan said to his armor bearer, for the Lord will help us defeat them. 13, so they climbed up using both hands and feet, and the Philistines fell before Jonathan, and his armor bearer killed those who came behind them. You bow your heads, and I'm going to pray, and I'm going to give you a few quick points before we head out of here. God, I thank you for today. I pray that as we're talking about picking a fight, as we're talking about not allowing our bad habits to destroy us, but us fighting and having the fortitude and not giving up to fight those things that are fighting us, God, give us the strength and let us know and see that you are with us. And it's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. Come on, are you guys still with us? Come on, if you're with us, go ahead and put some notes in the comments. We're going to be here just for a few more minutes. But here's my main point for today. Come on, if you don't remember anything else, come on, lean in. If you don't remember anything else, I'd encourage you to understand this point right here, which is this. When breaking and making habits, you have to pick a fight. When you're thinking about making new habits or breaking new habits, it's not just a lackadaisical, like, okay, I'm going to change this habit, but it's you choosing to pick a fight. You being sick and tired of being sick and tired of this bad habit and choosing on a daily basis to fight. I love James 4:17. It says this, remember, it is sin to know what you ought to do and not to do it. Listen to this, whatever you tolerate will eventually dominate. Come on, if you're listening, go ahead and put that in the comments, but whatever you tolerate will eventually dominate. If you give the enemy an inch, he will take a mile. That foothold will become a stronghold. So today I want to leave you with 4 challenges when picking a fight. When you choose to wake up and say, today I'm going to pick a fight, I want to give you 4 challenges that you can use to pick a fight. And the first challenge is this, do it scared. Man, when you're looking at picking a fight, I want to encourage you, do it scared. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be something that's just going to come. You're going to have to do it scared. And when you do that thing scared, man, nothing is impossible. So instead of exercising their faith, though, as you look at this passage where the Israelites were afraid of the Philistines, instead of picking a fight, instead of exercising their faith, they let fear dictate their decisions. I want you to know this. Fear eats the soul. Come on. Have you ever been there where you've been afraid of something? Fear will eat the soul. And at some point, you have to do it scared. When you pick fights, you have to do it scared. I love what Carl Jung said this. He says, find out what a person fears most, and that is where he will develop next. Find out where a person fears most, and that is where they will develop next. What are you developing? 2 Timothy 1:7 says this, for God has not given us a spirit of fear or timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. Come on, what if the Israelites would have did what Jonathan and his armor bearer did, where they trusted in God and they chose to fight? They would have won the battle, but instead they were afraid and they allowed their fear to hinder them. I want to encourage you today, don't be afraid. 1 John 4:18 says this, such love has no fear, because perfect love expels all fear. If we are afraid, it is for fear of punishment, and this shows that we have not fully experienced perfect love. Today, when you're picking a fight, do it scared. Number 2 is this, do it difficult. We're so anxious to get out of difficult situations. Come on, have you been there where you just want to get out of difficult, hard situations? What if we learn to get something out of those difficult circumstances? Charles Spurgeon said this, I have learned to kiss the wave that throws me against the rock of ages, right? This mindset of when we're walking through something difficult or when we're needing to pick a fight and it's hard, that man, when we have things come against us, it causes us to depend on the God of the universe. Here's a really hard question I would encourage you to ask yourself, and it's this. What makes us think that we can become like Jesus without being betrayed by Judas, denied by Peter, mocked by the Pharisees, tempted by the devil, or crucified by an angry mob, right? It's this understanding that Jesus did it difficult. He picked a fight and he kept on fighting even when it beat him down. I love what James 1:2-4 says. It says, dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. Romans 5:3-4 says this, we can rejoice too when we run into problems and trials, for we know that they help us develop endurance, and endurance develops strength of character, and character strengthens our confident hope of salvation. Come on, do it scared, do it difficult. And number 3 is this, do it differently. 1 Peter 2:9 says this, but you are not like that, for you are a chosen people. You are a royal priest, a holy nation, God's very own possession. That's you. God has bought you with a price. You are royal in his sight. As a result, you can show others the goodness of God, for he called you out of darkness into his wonderful light. Man, when you are looking at picking a fight, do it different. Realize that you are not alone. Realize that God is with you. Realize that you're a child of God. Realize that if you have never given your life to Jesus, that when you give your life to him, he's always with you. He gives you strength to make it through any situation and any circumstance. So I'd encourage you today to what? Number 1, do it scared. Number 2, do it difficult. Do it different. And lastly, do it now. Do it now. Whatever you're needing to pick a fight with, whatever has been beating you down, whatever has caused you to be afraid or anxious, I would encourage you, pick the fight now. It's that very thing that when you choose to pick a fight and fight it, your trajectory will change. When you're thinking about little domino habits, it starts with picking the fights and picking the right ones. The first step is always the hardest step. Would you agree? You have to overcome the inertia with initiative. That inertia that's keeping you or making it difficult for you to get it, man, fight. Have initiative. Don't allow yourself to be trampled over by life, but you choose to keep on going, keep on fighting. You have to overcome fear with faith. Come on, if you're listening in, put it in the comments, but you have to overcome fear with faith. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. Delayed obedience is what? Disobedience. Delayed obedience is disobedience. Some of you have things that you've needed to fight for years, that you needed to pick a fight with for years, and you've allowed it to destroy you. Are you willing to pick a fight today? Are you willing to do it scared, right? And difficult and different, and do it now? George Bernard Shaw said this: people are always blaming their circumstances. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want. And if they can find them, make them. I'm gonna read that one more time. People are always blaming their circumstances. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, they make them. What are you willing to make today? What are you willing to fight with? What are you willing to pick a fight with today so that you can look different tomorrow, right? What are you willing to pick a fight with that has been destroying you? What sin are you holding on to? What are you willing to break today so that your future looks different? Here's my next steps for you today. Number one is this: you have to trust God's timing, but you also need to exercise faith. Step out on the water. Step out even when it seems hard and difficult, and you're afraid. Step out onto the water and trust that God is with you. If not now, then when? This is the day that decides what happens. I would encourage you today, fight one more day, fight one more round. Fight, fight, fight. Let us know as a team what habit that you're gonna make and what habit you're gonna break. Our team has placed on our website, you'll see right on the cover page, a Do It For A Day image. And then on that image, you'll see a link that allows you to put in just so our team can pray what habit you're making or what habit you're breaking. What are you picking a fight with? I want to encourage you right now, it'll be in the links also, that you would just fill out this link so that we can be praying for you. We want to do this together. Don't do it by yourself. There are things that you're trying to fight that you need help with, and we want to be there for you. So again, go onto our website or follow the link below, and we want to be a part of the process of you picking the fights. But man, it's been so great that you guys have been with us today. We're in week 2 of our series. Next week is our final week. On the East Coast, Pastor Nate is going to be preaching in person in Bethlehem. So I want to encourage you, go on our website for more information. If you're here in the Bay Area, we actually have Preston Ulmer with us. He's going to be here from Springfield, Missouri. He's actually the founder of Doubters Club. And so he's going to be here with us. He's going to speak with us, and he's going to be with us because we've got Doubters Club on Monday night. So man, so glad that you are with us again. Pick a fight with the thing that's trying to make and break you today. If you haven't yet, go onto our website, fill out the card that tells us what you're making, what you're breaking, so that we can be praying for you. Thanks for being with us this weekend. We are so excited for all that God has in store. Again, you heard it in the announcements, but we've got baptisms that are coming up on the East Coast and on the West Coast on the 23rd and the 30th. Man, we want to encourage you to be a part of that. If you can be in person. If you're online, man, we are just so glad you're with us. If you're watching this on replay, we look forward to seeing you next week. Have a wonderful day.